This is a photograph of the Las Vegas Strip in 1988, and this is a photograph in 2004. The Strip extends further and the casino hotels look completely different. They've gone from being low-rise, fairly modest buildings to gigantic towers and mega-themed resorts. Even the main holdouts like Caesar's Palace and the Flamingo are now architecturally unrecognizable. While Las Vegas has never been a place that stood still, this decade arguably represents the biggest change to the city, both in terms of architecture and culture. So, what happened in that short space of time to make such a massive change? And was it for the better? On June 19, 1990, the Excalibur was opened on the south end of the Strip to an astonished crowd. The 28-story, 3,981-room castle featured turrets, a drawbridge, a cast of vaguely period-correctly dressed staff, jousting competitions, and a state-of-the-art 92,000-square-foot gambling facility. Excalibur was arguably the first mega-themed resort in Vegas. These mashed up multi-thousand-room super casinos with ridiculously huge, Disneyland-style, post-modern architecture. They included multiple restaurants, theatres, pools, and family activities, plenty of reason to never venture out onto the Strip. Regardless of what you think of this style, these buildings represent some of the largest, most innovative construction projects ever made, offering a style that could not and would not be built in any other part of the world at any other time. The aesthetics first approach to this architecture offers some of the most unique solutions to problems afforded by the expansive space of the desolate desert location and the ambitions of casino corporations with deep pockets and a desire to one-up each other. This esoteric bubble of excess and money has created some of the most ridiculous but commercially successful architecture on the planet. The dunes, the Stardust, and the Tropicana. These historical architectural icons of Las Vegas have all been blown up. Most recently, the Mirage has been partly demolished to make way for a giant guitar-shaped building. But why are these taken down at all when renovation is an option and there's a large amount of empty desert available? The trend started with Steve Wynn, a real estate developer and marketeer who demolished the Dunes Hotel in 1993 and replaced it with one of the most luxurious casinos on the Strip, the Bellagio, most notably known for its famed fountain show. The Dunes location represented prime real estate at the heart of the Strip, and the aging building, originally opened in 1955, just simply wouldn't fit his outlandish vision. The Excalibur, however, just preceded this trend. Built on a new site at the far south end of the Strip, originally earmarked for the never-built Xanadu. Themed hotels were nothing new, but had mostly been conventional buildings with architectural accents or signage stylized to fit. The Excalibur represented a new direction for the city and a departure from the original mafia-owned hotel casinos of the past. The city of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and other vices was opening up, cementing itself as a family vacation destination. Excalibur was the brainchild of William G. Bennett, a gaming executive, real estate developer, and chairman of Circus Circus Enterprises. His successful takeover of the Circus Circus casino clearly influenced, or at least cemented, his vision that these mega-themed casinos were the next evolution of Vegas. Construction began on the 50-acre site October 7, 1988, and was designed by architect Veldon Simpson, who later went on to design the Luxor and MGM Grand. Supposedly, Bennett and Simpson went on an extensive tour of castles in the UK and Germany. After all, we all need at least a jumping-off point for design inspiration, or given the end result, an all-expenses-paid holiday. Excalibur was modelled more after the German architectural style, primarily Neuschwanstein Castle, a not very old 19th century palace located at the foothills of the Alps in Bavaria. The fairy tale-esque Disney aesthetic probably greatly played into their decision. The name was chosen by public competition to drum up some extra press for the opening, which evidently worked, having 30,000 people turning up on opening day. Excalibur being the sword of British folk hero King Arthur, attributed by some sources as a warrior who successfully fought off the Anglo-Saxons in the 5th or 6th century. This was about 500 years before the first castle actually ever appeared in Britain.
Welcome to the fabulous Excalibur Hotel Casino. I am King Arthur. Join me on a guided tour.
The building was comprised of 4 towers, each 28 stories tall, and were constructed with reinforced concrete masonry, making it the tallest building of its type ever made in a Zone 2 seismic area. Traditional masonry's brittle nature made it susceptible to considerable damage during earthquake events. However, the reinforcements mitigated this. There are a few different techniques used depending on construction type and height, but the basic premise revolves around using steel bars embedded in the mortar joints of masonry or placed through holes of the interlocking blocks, which are then filled with concrete or grout. The steel bars effectively stop brickwork from shearing off during an earthquake event by supporting the sideways movement of the building. Contractors decided to go for this method of construction primarily to save time, demonstrating that load-bearing masonry can go up faster than conventional steel or reinforced concrete systems. The $290 million resort staggeringly took under 2 years to build, opening on June 19, 1990. It was the largest hotel in the world until the MGM Grand opened in 1993. Upkeep of the building was scheduled regularly at tremendous cost, with the repainting of the building's brightly coloured castle turrets using polyurethane paint every 3 or 4 years in order to keep them vibrant under the intense desert sun. In 1991, 1 year after the successful launch of Excalibur, Circus Circus Enterprises Inc. announced the building of Project X, just to the south of Excalibur on the Strip. Bennett teamed up once again with Simpson, this time to reimagine the Great Pyramid of Giza. Groundbreaking took place on the 21st of April 1992, by which time it had become known as the Luxor, named after the Egyptian city. This once capital was actually known as Thebes or Wasset to the ancient Egyptians and located 400 miles south of Giza. In fact, Thebes was specifically known not to have any pyramids, although it does have other tombs and temples. Luxor represented a different set of challenges given its shape. However, it used the same basic construction techniques of reinforced concrete masonry as the skeletal structure. The facade, however, was made of glass and steel, giving it a more modern appearance. Standing 30 stories high, it was one of the largest metal and glass projects ever created. The Luxor was finished October 15, 1993, at a cost of $375 million, complete with valet parking station under a fiberglass and plaster cast replica of the Sphinx. Standing at 364 foot, the Luxor is probably the 3rd tallest true pyramid structure in the world, with it coming 6th place with pyramid-esque skyscrapers. It stands roughly 3/4 the height of the 481-foot Great Pyramid of Giza. The building features the largest atrium by volume, measuring 29 million cubic foot. Hotel rooms line the inner walls of the pyramid, featuring balconies overlooking the space below. This provided a unique challenge for the elevator system, having to operate at a 39-degree angle to match the slope of the walls. These inclinators are often cited as one of the most unique elevator systems in the world. The Egyptian theme is prevalent throughout the resort, with replicas of ancient artifacts. In a continued superficial level of attention to detail, Egyptologists were hired to oversee the creation of these replicas, which were then made of cheap fiberglass and plaster. The hotel also originally featured a Nile River tour, a paid-for 3,000-foot-long 15-minute ride that brought guests to different parts of the hotel. It was demolished after 3 years to make way for additional tower blocks of rooms. Likewise, the Luxor also featured the 300,000-gallon Karnak Lake, using more than 100 computer-controlled fountains to give a free nightly show. It featured laser projectors situated in the eyes of the Sphinx, creating imagery onto a 50-foot tall water screen. This was targeted as a rival for the volcano at the Mirage Resort, but the show ultimately failed to compete, and at the end of 1995 it was shut down by the Federal Aviation Administration for being too close to McCarran International Airport. One attraction that still remains, however, is the Luxor Skybeam. This 3-story tall section at the tip of the pyramid features the most powerful light in the world. Activated October 14, 1993, it uses curved mirrors to collect light from 39 xenon lamps and focuses them onto one intense beam. Each lamp is 7,000 watts and costs approximately $1,200 as of 2001. At full power, the system can cost $51 an hour to operate, with $20 going towards electricity. This light is so powerful that it can be seen from 275 miles away by aircraft at cruising altitude. After this, the next few years saw the opening of copycat casinos from other corporations like Treasure Island, New York, the Venetian, Paris Las Vegas, and the more elaborate themed remodels of places like Caesar's Palace. The last 35 years has seen hotel casinos like the Luxor and Excalibur becoming iconic representations of Las Vegas. Used in movies, TV shows, and video games, they have come to represent a more modern snapshot view of what is expected from Las Vegas. However, the trend didn't last long and casinos began to open up on the Strip like the MGM Grand. This was still a resort-style mega hotel, but with a less obvious theme. Towards the end of the decade, even Circus Circus Enterprises went on to develop in a more visually pared back style, opening Mandalay Bay in 1999. This was a more luxury-focused resort, complete with aquarium, shopping mall, and Michelob Ultra Arena. Newer hotels like the Wynn and Encore seem to cement this more luxury architectural direction for Las Vegas too, at the start of the 2000s. Nowadays, this Disneyland-esque architectural style and the age of these first mega-themed hotels are starting to become very dated and tired. This is evident by the now operators MGM Resorts International positioning both the Luxor and Excalibur as budget-friendly options. Very recently, on October 9th, 2024, the Tropicana, one of the few remaining original casino hotels, was imploded to make way for a new baseball stadium, the new home of the currently named Oakland Athletics. The question now is, are the likes of Excalibur and Luxor just waiting to become unprofitable enough to receive the same fate as the Tropicana, or will their iconicness be enough to save them? In recent years, Las Vegas seems to have had a bit of a change of heart with this march towards maximum profitability. The Strip isn't actually part of Las Vegas City at all, and it isn't the original gambling district. This sits on Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas. Beginning with the Pero Dice Club in 1931 and followed in the 1940s by the El Rancho Vegas, Last Frontier, and the original mob-owned casino, the Flamingo, resorts started popping up along Las Vegas Boulevard, the main road into town. This was basically done to dodge city taxes. Fremont Street is where the original icons of Las Vegas resided. Neon signage like the Cowboy and Cowgirl, Vegas Vic and Vegas Vicky, and casinos like the Pioneer Club and Golden Nugget. A lot of the bars like Atomic Liquors and the famous wedding chapels were also located in this area. However, once the Strip had started becoming the dominant place for new casinos, Fremont Street saw a downturn, and many of these iconic landmarks were lost or closed, including the Vegas Vicky sign. In 1995, the Fremont Experience was opened as a successful effort to revitalize the area and bring more people to downtown Las Vegas. Recent years have seen places like the Neon Museum open up, displaying some of the old signage, as well as making conservation efforts to keep iconic landmarks up throughout the city. Recently, we may have seen a return to form for Las Vegas with the opening of the Sphere on September 29, 2023. This entertainment and music venue is being marketed for its immersive video and audio capabilities, which includes a 16K resolution wraparound interior LED screen, requiring a completely bespoke camera to film with, as well as speakers with beamforming and wave-field synthesis technology and 4D physical effects. The massive 366 feet high and 516 feet wide venue's exterior also features 580,000 square foot of LED displays, making it one of the most mind-boggling, surreal experiences to witness in person when walking down the Strip. It represents a truly unique piece of architecture, making use of modern technological innovations in a very creative way. For now, the Luxor and Excalibur sit in that awkward space in time where they're too new to be protected and too old to be considered contemporary competitors to the newer casinos on the Strip. And let's face it, architecturally they are utterly ridiculous, superficial representations of bad taste and too much money. However, their quirkiness has made them standout features on the Strip and icons of modern Las Vegas. Really, all modern casino hotels are vulgar examples of wealth. At least resorts like the Luxor and Excalibur are interesting and memorable. Now, with new exciting buildings appearing like the Sphere, could we be seeing a move away once again from the safe, conservative designs of recent builds, and the start of the next evolution of Las Vegas? With Las Vegas seeming to serve as inspiration for multiple new tourist-focused cities appearing in the Middle East, like Dubai, the casino resorts may not only have to contend with each other in the future, but Las Vegas may have to compete with other entire cities around the world. We'll just have to see what other weird and wonderful architectural oddities result from this competition.
Remember to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell to stay updated with our latest content. And while you're here, why not check out another one of our exciting videos? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.